This video will show you how to replace the tailgate kit on a GMC Sierra 2500. This will be located inside of your tailgate. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. With our tailgate open, we're going to remove the inside panel. Now for this panel, you're going to find that you have two 13mm headed mounting bolts, and then you're also going to have several Phillips head mounting screws that you're going to have to remove. Let's start with the 13mm bolts. A thorough inspection of all hardware as we continue, replace as necessary. Now as you make your way over towards either side of the tailgate, we're looking for each one of our Phillips head mounting screws. We can start removing these as we make our way around. We should have one right here. Ours is clearly missing. We'll continue on. There should be one right here as well. We have one last screw right here. We'll go ahead and set all of these aside for now. Let's take hold of that panel and we'll lift it up and away. With that plastic panel out of the way, we have our last 13mm headed mounting bolt in this center area. The two bolts that we have already removed also hold our handle in place. As we remove this is the last thing holding the handle inside the tailgate. Let's go ahead and get it out of here. Now that I have that bolt out of there, let's go ahead and remove our tailgate. We're starting along the driver's side. Gently lift up on the end of the tailgate. We're going to remove our strap from the body of the vehicle. Now typically there will be a locking tab. You can either pull it out by hand or you can use a small prying device. Whatever you do, just be careful for any pinch points. We're just prying out on that locking tab. We should be able to slide this and dislodge it. Just a quick inspection here. Let's move along to the other side of the tailgate next. We'll lift this up. Now continuing on, we're going to have to bring the tailgate up to a diagonal position. Let's go ahead and remove the tailgate from the passenger side corner. We're lifting it up and away diagonally. Once you have it dislodged from this side, we're going to have to pull it towards the passenger side, removing it from the driver's side. After that, we can go ahead and rest this in the bed of the vehicle. Let's focus on the center of the tailgate where our handle is. We're going to remove our trim panel. This has 3 locking tabs. There's one in each upper corner and then just one in the center along the bottom. For this, I'm going to use a plastic trim tool. Just want to try to lift up on this as much as possible. We'll try to make our way underneath, gently pry it up and away. Now we will have to remove and swap over our lock cylinder, but for now, let's go ahead and set this aside and we'll continue on with the tailgate itself. Now looking inside of this area, we can see where each one of our 2 tailgate latch rods are. Now we have to dislodge them from the handle assembly itself. We can clearly see the one that leads over towards the driver's side, it has a blue locking tab. Go ahead and carefully dislodge that locking tab and pull the rod out of place. Typically you can do this by hand. You can also use a small prying device if necessary. That should just pivot. We'll lift the rod, slides right out. Go ahead and do the same for the other one. This one's located just behind this area. You should be able to pivot the handle as necessary. It's a little tighter, that's okay. There's our rod. Now we can remove the handle assembly. There's that. Go ahead and set that aside for recycling. Now we can focus on removing each one of our 2 rods and their corresponding latches. The process will be the same. Let's go ahead and make our way along one side of the tailgate here. Now this is where we can see our latch and our tailgate strap. Let's continue on with removing the hardware, the latch, the strap, and the rod from inside of that tailgate. Now to remove the latch and our strap, we're going to be using a 13mm for each one of our 2 bolts. You'll notice that they each look a little different than each other. Let's start with the upper bolt. The lower one is actually a captured bolt. Now this bolt will stay in this area. We should be able to pull this entire thing away. Go ahead and remove that rod from inside of the tailgate. Now that I have that out of the vehicle, let's put it on the bench. We're going to compare it to the brand new parts here. We have our new latch assembly with a new connector. We're just going to take that new rod. We should be able to slide this right in here. We're going to lock it in. After you hear an audible click, you want to try to give this a wiggle. It should not slide out of place. Now, before we go ahead and dispose of our original latch assembly, we also want to mention that you do still have the strap attached to it. Pay attention to the orientation of where the strap needs to go. I have my brand new strap, and I also have a brand new bolt for this side. Of course, this does not have the locking clip to hold it in position, so we're just going to hold this aside. Let's go ahead and install this into the tailgate. Prior to installation of any brand new part, of course, we're going to pay attention to the mounting surface. Along each side of the tailgate, we need to make sure we clean it down and make sure it's not rotted, weak, or damaged in any way. That looks good. Now it's time to install our brand new latch and rod assembly. Now when you go to bring this in position, we want to pay attention to the latch area here. As you can tell, this is facing in the wrong direction. We would want to have it so when we do close our tailgate, the latch is going to be able to hold it in position. So this would be spun. We would want to have it in this position here. This would be facing towards the inboard side where the bed of the vehicle is. Now with that said, let's go ahead and carefully start sliding our rod all the way inside of the tailgate towards the center there. Now as we slide this in, we want to pay attention in the center port here so we can see the rod where it needs to be. Assuming it is in the proper position, let's continue on with the latch. We'll continue on with our hardware in this area. Don't forget, we do have our strap that we also have to install. Now we can install our tailgate strap and the mounting hardware for the latch. As far as the strap is concerned, we need to pay attention to the side that attaches to the tailgate itself. Now, if you are looking closely at the end, you're going to find that one side of it has a smooth side, the other side actually has a small spacer on it. You can also tell where the cable is, it kind of bumps out a little. We want to make sure we have the area that bumps out facing away from the tailgate, and the side with the spacer facing towards the tailgate. Now, the 2 bolts for the latch do look a little bit different from each other. We're going to be using the side that has the smooth shanked area. That's going to slide directly through the strap here. We can see I have my small spacer. Let's start this in by hand. Prior to tightening that, let's also start in our other mounting bolts next. Once you have both of them started in, we can snug them up. Pay attention to the side with the strap. It needs to be aligned properly so it does not bind. Now we can hold onto the strap. I'm going to pull it towards the shanked area of my mounting bolt, and we'll carefully tighten this. We're being extremely careful for any pinch points. Double check to make sure this can move as it needs to. We'll continue on to the next mounting bolt. Once you have both of those secured, we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side of the tailgate. Now we're done with the latch area, let's make our way down towards the lower portion of the tailgate. Now this is where we're going to have to remove this plastic bushing. We of course do want to make sure we have the proper one for the installation. It comes in our kit. For this, I'm just going to pry it out of place. You can use a flat blade screwdriver or a small pry bar, whatever's easiest for you. Just make your way in, pull it right out of there. Just a quick look at that. We're going to set it aside. We'll go ahead and carefully clean this down. We're being aware of any sharp areas. We don't want to get cut. This looks good. This looks good. Let's continue with the installation here. Now we have the inboard side with the 2 locking clips. Just go ahead and align it as it needs to be. Press it in till you hear a click. Double check to make sure it's in there. It should be able to move around but not fall out of place. In your kit, you'll find that it came with a second plastic adapter. Some applications, you will have to replace it on the opposite side of the tailgate. Other applications, like this one right here, this is actually a solid piece on the tailgate. There's nothing to replace here, so we'll just go ahead and set this aside for disposal. As we move towards the center of the tailgate, of course, we're going to make sure that we can see both of our rods leading to each side of the tailgate. Aside from that, looking deep inside this area, we can see the mounting point for our handle assembly. I like to use some glass cleaner directly on a clean rag. We're just going to give this a quick wipe and a close inspection. We want to make sure nothing's rotted or weak here. That looks good. Now, of course, along this area where we have our plastic molding, we need to clean and inspect that as well. If you still have any of your locking clips in place, you need to remove them. To remove these, you can carefully pry them out of place, or you can just reach in and behind, compress it together, and press it out of position. There's that clip. We'll set that aside for recycling. More glass cleaner. Clean rag here. Just a quick wipe. Obviously, it's your tailgate. Clean it as well as you deem fit. This looks good. Now let's get ready to install that brand new handle assembly. We want to make sure we have it in the proper orientation. We have our 3 mounting ports, and if you were looking at the tailgate, you can see exactly how this needs to be aligned. Continuing on, you can install each of your 2 rods. Those just slide into place and then lock them in with your plastic locking tabs. Slide that over. If you find you have a hard time locking it in place, you could carefully use some pliers. Just be careful not to break it. That's the first rod. It's fully secured. Let's go ahead and do the same to the other. Now I've lifted up the tailgate so we can look at the inboard side. We're going to install our lower bolt. For this, let's just take hold of the handle. You can see it moving around here. I want to try to align it so I can get that bolt started in. We are going to tighten this, but before tightening it, we need to make sure that we're properly aligned. So I'm going up to the next port here. I have a second mounting bolt. We'll pivot this as necessary. That looks like it's aligned here. Start in that bolt as well. Now that we have at least 2 of the bolts started in here, we're sure that we have it aligned. Let's go ahead and tighten that lower bolt. Now we can remove the second bolt. We'll be installing this in a minute. Let's rest this back down. On the bench, we need to remove our lock cylinder from the plastic molding. Let's have a look from the back side. Now looking at this, we can see that there is a metal clip that makes its way 3/4 of the way around this. We don't have to remove the metal clip, but we do have to carefully pull it out and away. For this, you can either press along the 2 tabs on the outboard side, or you could use a small prying device to make your way along the other side. Either way, we're just gently pulling it as far away as we can, just like this. Now we can take hold of that lock cylinder. We're going to give it a wiggle. It may be stuck in place, or the clip might be holding it. Typically, it should slide right out. Go ahead and clean this up. Make sure it's not damaged in any way. You can also apply some lubricant as needed. We can go ahead and set this aside for disposal. And let's prepare this for installation. We'll make sure we have the lock cylinder in the proper orientation here. We want to have it so this locking tab is facing towards the center. We also have 2 locating tabs, one on the top and the bottom area here. We're just going to carefully line this up, press it down, listen for a click from our locking tabs. After you feel as though you do have it locked in, take a close look. If you were looking deep inside this area, you can see where the locking clip is perfectly situated along the top of the lock cylinder on each side. All right, let's install this on the tailgate. Now, as we bring this over, there's one thing that I want to show you. Right along this area of the lock cylinder needs to fit into this area on the handle itself. Now, you can see that there's a small rectangular port for that to slide into. We're just going to line this up. There really isn't much to see inside there. We're just bringing it down. We have our locking tabs. There's one on each corner, and then there's one in the center here. We're just lining it up, and we'll press it in. Once you do have it pressed in, attempt to remove it from the tailgate. It should not slide out of place. Prior to bringing this over to the vehicle, there's a couple more things that we need to do. The first thing we want to do is test the functionality of the handle in comparison to our latch. So for this, I'm going to be taking a screwdriver. I'm going to come inside of the area of the latch and pretend I'm closing my tailgate. Now at this point, the latch thinks that it's closed. I'm applying pressure, it's not releasing. While holding pressure, I'm going to take hold of the handle, we'll pull on that, and this should release. As you can see, it released as it should. I'm just going to test it one more time. Repeat the process for both sides of the tailgate. After you've confirmed that both sides release as they should, we're going to continue on along the body of the vehicle next. Now along each side of the vehicle, we have to remove our tailgate strap mounting bolt. Use a 13 millimeter. Now we've got our brand new bolt. This is the one that has the washer attached to it. Okay, both sides are installed. We can see that we do still have this area for our strap to clip into. We're almost ready to reinstall that tailgate. We just need to make our way down along the bottom area where the tailgate's going to sit. Double check to make sure each side of the vehicle is in good usable order. This looks good. As we bring the tailgate into position, we're going to be starting with the driver's side. The driver's side of the tailgate slides right over this area. After that, we need to be at an angle with the tailgate so we can slide the passenger side into place as well. Let's be careful not to let this drop and hit the ground. There we are. Now that I have that in there, I'm going to make sure that I can still gain access to my strap. We're lining this up. There we are. Now, while we're still holding onto the tailgate, let's make sure we install our strap next. We have it in the proper orientation. Make sure that's locked in. Go over to the other side and attach that strap as well. We have our tailgate situated. Let's continue on with our inner plastic panel. Now, when we bring this in position, we're going to focus in the center first. We have the area for our two mounting bolts. Our kit came with two brand new mounting bolts for this. We'll leave those loose. We're going to continue on to all of our Phillips head mounting screws next. We have our Phillips head mounting screws. Now, as you remember, some of our screws were missing during the removal process. When you go to install these screws, we also want to leave them loose until we have every piece of hardware started in. After that, we can tighten everything up. They're all started in. Let's go ahead and snug them up. I'm starting in the center with my 13 millimeter headed mounting bolts. You want to make sure these are tight. These are also holding your tailgate handle in place. Now, a couple of these are going in at an angle. That's just because our tailgate's damaged. There should be one here. Double check to make sure that's properly secured in place. Now let's go ahead and close our tailgate. We're going to test the functionality of our handle and latch assembly. Perfect. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.